Well, hello and a very warm welcome to Business Today TV. I am Chetan Bhutani, and today I am joined by Balbir Singh Dhillon, head Audi India, to talk about more on how Audi is performing, the outlook, and how the industry has been performing in general. Thank you, Mr. Dhillon, for joining us. Tell us about how Audi has been performing. You closed last year with a record 101% growth in sales with about over 3,290 units. Tell us about the outlook for this year and what really made you perform in the last year?
So first of all, Chetan, thank you very much for having me on the show. Like you mentioned, last year was a very good year for us. We grew at about 101%. This was on the back of 9 products that we launched, including 5 electric cars. So we got a really good response from our customers, and we are really happy that all the products that we launched last year are doing extremely well. As far as this year is concerned, we are quite confident that we will grow double digit this year as well. However, how much that double digit would be, it's difficult to tell right now. Keeping in mind the complexities that we had at this point in time of semiconductors shortage and this Russia-Ukraine war, and then lockdowns in China, this all impacts the supply chain. So this challenge still remains. But barring that, otherwise, so far so good. We are doing well, and we launched one of our flagship cars already this year, which is Audi Q7. It has been one of our most successful car all these years. And going forward, we are also planning to launch some more products this year. And I'm sure with full year availability of the products that we launched last year and also the new products that we will launch this year or have already launched, we will have a successful year 2022 as well.
Right. One very interesting trend that we saw that the demand for C and D segment, which is above about 70 to 75 lakh segment, saw a good traction vis-a-vis traditional models for Audi. What do you think was the reason behind that? People are splurging more into luxury cars and wanting more luxury in their vehicles.
So you're right. The demand for the high-end cars is actually very good at this point in time, including even last year for that matter. In fact, the percentage of luxury cars that we sell was one of the highest ever last year in terms of percentage, if I may say so. The reason primarily, I believe, is there is no doubt people couldn't travel last year. So all the people who could afford these cars, somewhere or the other, you also end up spending on your lifestyle. So there was a lot of pull in the market from that point of view. So I'm sure going forward, also this will continue because businesses are doing well in general, barring these supply chain issues, and definitely businesses are profitable. We have a lot of unicorns coming into India, so there are always wealth creation happening in the country, and that obviously leads to more luxury car buying for sure.
Right. So tell us about the whole electric vehicle ecosystem. The government on its part is, of course, doing what needs to be done and pushing for it harder. Audi e-tron has been great in demand. A lot of celebrities, in fact, have also started buying into Audi e-tron, and of course, we've been also very bullish on production of electric vehicles in India. Tell us about the performance of Audi e-tron and how's it really going?
Well, you're absolutely right. We are very bullish on electric mobility in the country. And you can see, you read the news on an everyday basis where not only the government is trying their best, but also the industry is also taking their first steps into this electric mobility. And as I always say, electric mobility will not be successful overnight. It's a journey that we have to tread together, and very strong journey. And believing that we launched already 5 cars last year, and this year we will run these cars for the full year because we launched these cars only in the second half of last year. And from the time we've launched these cars, we are doing extremely well. In fact, most of the cars that we are able to import, as we are importing all of these cars, they're already pre-sold. So this is the kind of potential that we have. Talking about producing these cars very briefly, I can touch base this topic as well. I mean, we need certain minimum volumes to produce the cars in India. As and when we feel that we kind of reach that threshold where we can plan for next 5 to 7 years that we will be able to produce those many cars or we will be able to sell those many cars, then we will take a decision of producing the cars also in India. For the time being, we are only importing these cars. So of course, these cars come at high import duties and they are expensive. But said that, they're still doing very well, and we are very positive for the electric mobility in the country.
Right. You mentioned about the high duties and subsequently having an impact on the number of vehicles that you produce in India. What are the volumes that you're looking at before you start manufacturing in India? And could you shed some more light if that's hampering The duty structure, India's duty structure, is hampering your Make in India dreams?
So I can only tell you, I cannot tell the numbers per se, but I can only tell you that when we bring these cars into the country, we test the market, and the early we are able to achieve certain threshold volumes, the early we are able to decide about making the cars in India. At this point in time, the duties are, let's say, we are paying these the highest possible duties. So of course, it takes longer time for us to make those decisions whether we can make the cars in India. But to that extent, I would say our request always to the government that they can give us a window of 3 to 5 years where we can bring in more and more cars into the country and sell, and then obviously go back to headquarters stating that we are ready for electric mobility and to be made in India. So that's the request that still remains. You may already be knowing that Audi has already declared that by 2033 we will be a fully electric car company. So we will move in that direction. It's only a question of when, not if. So that's how we are on our side. But it's also our intention to make them in India as soon as we can, but it will take time till the time
Right.
we have.
So,
Otherwise,
where I mean to understand, because now you are completely full-fledged into the Indian market with established headquarters and offices and dealership networks. Uh, you are kind of echoing what Tesla is wanting on the duty structure part. I just want to know, for the consumer's perspective or the viewer's perspective, how is that now performing or affecting your operations in India?
the import duties, you mean?
The duty structure, what did duty structure seem like? Was like Tesla was also asking about high duties for imports?
So no doubt about it. You will understand the electric cars. The cost of electric cars in any case is high. So they fall in the highest possible import duty structure for us at this point in time, which is over 100% import duty. So you can imagine, in spite of the fact that the GST is only 5%, the cars are very expensive because of the import duty. So obviously, if you're selling cars above 1 crore, there will be a limited market for those cars. If you're able to get those cars at a lower duties, we will be able to sell more cars. And of course, some point in time, whenever it happens, if we make the cars in India, they will come at a different duty structure, and we will be able to sell more cars. So uh, at this point in time, I think our evaluation time, and we are looking at when we think of making these cars in India, and whenever that decision is taken, I will share with you so that we are able to reach to more potential buyers in that segment.
Right. Mr. Dhillon, what are the impact of, as of now, that you're facing due to the Russia-Ukraine crisis and also the semiconductor shortage? Are you also facing some dealership level inventory issues or any problems that you're facing right now?
So no doubt about it. Firstly, semiconductor, then Russia-Ukraine situation, and now also lockdowns in China. You know that we're a global company and supply chains are completely connected. So parts for the cars are coming from various parts of the world, and there are thousands of components for each of the car. And one component not being there, the car doesn't get manufactured. So to that extent, there are challenges. Yes, you're right. The waiting period for the customers for some of our models is higher than normally. Normally, in India, we were always working in stock and sell model where cars were available. Customer can walk into our showrooms and they can pick up the cars which are mostly available. But obviously, there was some customization, special high-end cars where we were customizing. But otherwise, the cars which were otherwise available on an ex-stock basis, now customers have to wait between 2 to 6 months depending upon various models. So these kind of challenges we do face, and I only hope in the second half of this year, hopefully the situation should become better than what it is today. But there are definitely challenges. We are getting some support from headquarters to get as many cars as possible. But I think if given a choice, we could have sold much more than what we have sold so far. So there are challenges, no doubt about it.
Right. How's the dealership network going, and what are your plans for growing the dealership network in India?
Well, we have 60 touch points in the country. And whatever our volume aspirations are, I think these touch points are good enough to cater to our customers. What we are doing for sure is that under our workshop strategy, first we are trying to reach as close as possible to our customers, and also followed by Audi Approved Plus, our pre-owned cars business. So we doubled our showrooms in Audi Approved Plus from 7 to 14 last year, and by end of this year we want to take them to up to 20. So in terms of our availability throughout the country, we are well present. and that's good enough for us in the next couple of years before we think of further expanding once the market grows even better.
Right. There are reports that Audi Approved Plus has been performing really well. How's it going now, and what is the outlook for Audi Approved Plus? How's the demand at Audi Approved Plus? Because when the demand for a second hand or a pre-owned vehicle is definitely a big short market in India. So how are you looking there?
So you're right. The demand for pre-owned cars has really gone up. I would say primarily related to two things. One is if you see the new cars prices have been going up the last couple of years, and quite a good percentage price increase has happened. So this has kind of created some kind of a vacuum at certain price points, which we try to cater through Audi Approved Plus. And of course, we are also helping in this process to sell our cars of our existing customers at an ease, and then also give let's say warranties whenever a customer is buying a pre-owned car. So this is one of the reasons why this demand is coming through. And the second reason I believe is pre-owned cars as a market is becoming more organized over a period of time, from unorganized to organized sector. So these are the two reasons I would say that it is leading to the growth. And we definitely believe in the potential of pre-owned cars business, because that helps our dealer becomes, let's say, self-sustaining even better, and also giving a best possible offer to our customers in terms of ease of ownership. And at the same time, these customers who we sell pre-owned cars, eventually we are able to sell the new cars. So it is like a win-win for everybody.
Right. In April, you just undertook about a 3% odd price hike. I want to ask you, how's the outlook for the year going ahead, and if there are any possible hikes that you'll be undertaking?
So yes, yeah, we have taken a 3% up to 3% price increase from 1st April. And as you know, commodity prices are going up, and partly also because of exchange rates. So all these things do impact. Even shipment costs are becoming more and more expensive. So I do see in the times to come, potentially we may have to take another price increase in the coming months. No doubt.
What is the timeline for the price hike? I mean, another 2 months, another quarter. What can the viewers and your possible customers expect before they go and buy the vehicles at old prices?
And normally, what we do is whenever there's a price increase, we do give get back to media. Through media, we are able to reach out to our customers, and we give them sufficient time if they want to prepone their purchase. So at this point in time, I can't say that it's going to happen immediately in a month or so. We will wait for some time. We've just taken one price increase. We cannot be that in next 3 months we again do it. So I think somewhere in the second half of this year we will see. We will always try not to pass on the price increase, but if it goes beyond a point, then we will have to partially pass on to the customers. So let us see when it happens. But I can't say when, but it's not coming immediately.
Right. That's quite a relief for the buyers as of now. But to my last set of questions, sir, what are the trends that you're seeing in the auto industry? We recently saw, we've been seeing electric vehicles catching fire. Although there are more technical reasons that you and me can comment upon, but what are the other set of trends that you're observing other than EVs catching fire? You can also comment on that fire catching incident as well.
So I will not be able to comment on the fire incidents. Of course, it is for each manufacturer to evaluate for themselves the technicalities of these kind of incidents. But what I can tell you is that before launching the e-tron, we also did a lot of work, the groundwork. We got this car firstly in 2019, and we did all the studies possible with Indian customers, potential challenges that we may have. So we tried to find out the solution before we launch these cars. And of course, as a global brand, these cars are well tested globally before they're launched anywhere in the world. And of course, India, we also took this decision of launching these 5 cars last year. In terms of trends, there is no doubt we definitely see electric mobility becoming stronger and stronger in the times to come. Some of the manufacturers have already started to launch these cars. Some are a little ahead, some are a little behind. But I think direction in by and large is clear to everybody, because also it is being driven by the government. And I'm sure once we have the infrastructure of charging becoming more strong, especially on the highways with high-speed chargers, I think the mobility will go to the next step. Right now, let's say by and large, the potential is that the cars are being bought by customers in the cities because they're able to charge them at their home. But traveling intercity still remains a kind of a perception in the minds of customer, how will and when and how quickly can they charge them. So I think this once becomes stronger, especially with high speed DC chargers, where you can stop by and charge the car 80% in half an hour, 45 minutes and move on. So those kind of confidence level will increase as we move on. I'm sure there is a lot of
Right.
work going into this, and success will not come overnight, but this journey is happening and it's happening for good.
Right. Any other trend that you'd like to talk about a luxury car segment space, or probably a trend that you at Audi are observing in India, which could be a possible game changer for the India's auto segment?
Well, I wouldn't say anything game changer. Like we spoke in the very beginning, one trend that we see is the super luxury car, the segment which is, let's say, 70, 80 lakhs upwards, is doing extremely well. So that is one trend that we are seeing. So basically, or potentially people who are already luxury cars owner are switching to the next level of luxury. So that
But
is,
we saw this trend in April. Sorry to interrupt you, but we saw this trend in the January to March quarter probably. Uh, are you still seeing that the C&D segment would continue to perform better in Indian markets?
I would believe so.
Okay.
I would believe so.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Dhillon, for joining us, and you candid as always, and wishing you all the best for your future endeavors. We hope to connect very soon. Thank you so much for watching.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.